Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Ari, and hopefully you'll stick around for a quick video. So guys, today's video goes out to our cisgender friends. If you are not aware of what that means, cisgender means that you identify with the gender that you were assigned at birth. So this is going out to cisgender friends, family, acquaintances, just those people who want to know more about how you can be a better ally to the trans community. Stick around for 5 points on how you can be a better trans ally. Okay guys, point number 1, don't make assumptions. Over the past several years, we've seen a lot of improvement in trans visibility in the media. People have gotten to know people like Laverne Cox, Jazz Jennings, Chaz Bono, Janet Mock, even Caitlyn Jenner. But don't make the mistake of thinking that their lives are necessarily our lives. We all have our own story to tell. We all come from various backgrounds. Being trans is not just about one thing. It comes in a lot of different forms based on our socioeconomic status, race, religious background. All of these things can have impact. So don't make the mistake of thinking that because you have seen the story of one trans person, that you know the story of every trans person, because we each have our own journey to self-discovery, to self-acceptance. Along with that, the way that we transition is not going to be the same. Some people want to go the route of medical transition by way of HRT, or top or bottom surgery, or a combination of various surgeries. And some people choose to have no medical intervention and only socially transition. Every person has to make that decision based on what is going to be best for them. There are a lot of reasons why people may not take the same path. Some may not look at medical transition because of things like their finances, their insurance. For others, it may just be that it's simply something that they're not interested in. The important thing is that we each have our own story to tell, if you're only willing to listen. That brings us to our first do. Do listen to our stories. Do give us the opportunity to tell our stories. Be willing to hear from various trans people about their background, about the problems that they experience, about what their goals are, to continue learning and seeing the differences that each one of us brings to the table. Number 2, don't expect us to be your Trans 101 instructor. Many of us are more than happy to tell our story. We're more than happy to answer your questions. But keep in mind that while you may know one trans person, we know a bunch of cisgender people, all of whom end up asking questions. And there are times when you just get sick of answering endless questions about things like surgery and when did you know and what process are you going through. Sometimes we don't want to be your instructor, we just want to be your friend. That brings us to do number 2, which is do your own research. Google is an amazing resource. Go online, hunt out the answers. The great thing about you searching for yourself is that you get the information and we're not the ones who have to tell it over and over and over again. Number 3, don't take offense when you're corrected. No matter how much research you do, no matter how many trans people you talk to, eventually you're going to make a mistake. You're going to say the wrong thing. The last thing that a trans person wants to hear is you going into the defensive and giving a litany of everything that you feel you've done for the community. We are not correcting you to be mean-spirited. As a matter of fact, trans people themselves get corrected by other trans people because we all come from different backgrounds. Being a good ally also means accepting your mistakes with grace. That brings us to number 3 on the do list. Do take the constructive criticism with grace. Understand that when you're being corrected, that is not an attack on who you are. We're not downplaying your commitment to the community. We're trying to make sure that other people can see you in the light that we know you, as someone who is supportive. People don't necessarily know the vast amount of advocacy that you may have done for the trans community in the past. So a mistaken comment can look like transphobia to an outsider. When we correct you, we're trying to broaden your horizons and help you see things from a different perspective. You have to be able to understand that, to learn from your experiences, make a simple apology, and move on better for it. Number 4, don't be silent. It's easy to be very supportive of the trans community when you're among like-minded people. That doesn't make you an advocate. What makes you an advocate and an ally is when you can still show that support for the community when you're around those people who may not understand. What do you do when we're not around and someone makes a transphobic joke? Do you let it pass, or do you speak up? What happens at Thanksgiving when Uncle so-and-so makes some really terrible comment about transgender people in the public restroom? Are you speaking up, or are you being silent? What do you do when you hear about another transphobic law attempting to be passed in your state or city or town? Do you speak up? Do you call your representative? Do you become a voice for positive change? Or do you sit back and do nothing? Do number 4, do speak up. The trans community doesn't need any more silent partners. We need people who are willing to be advocates. We need people who are willing to speak up even when it might be uncomfortable, when it's your friends, when it's your family. We need people who will let elected leaders know that the time for transphobia is behind us and that the time for equality is now. If you want to be an advocate, then you need to be an involved advocate. You need to be a leader. You need to lead with your words to those around you, to stop transphobic language in your area and to let them know that's not acceptable. Number 5, don't objectify us. We don't want to be your trans friend. We just want to be your friend. We are not the trendiest new accessory. We're humans, not your new purse. That brings us to do number 5, which is do accept us as individuals. Don't just hear our stories. Actually take the time to listen. If we want to discuss trans issues, if we want to discuss our transition, we're going to bring it up. But a good ally and a good friend knows that there's much more to us than just being trans. I'm a transgender woman, but I'm also a person of faith. I'm also a writer. I also love photography. There are so many things about me, so many complexities that go beyond simply being trans. Part of being a good ally is recognizing that fact and knowing when to discuss the issues and when to just be there and be someone we can talk to and hang out with. So appreciate our individuality, see us as fully rounded human beings, and not just your latest project. Okay guys, that was the video for today. I'm going fast because my camera is about to die. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave your comments. Let me know what you think. Subscribe to the video. In closing, my quote from Kesha, don't let the bastards get you down. Walk with your head held high. Be yourself. As the Oscar Wilde quote is, be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. Have a great day, guys.